To get started in this step, we're going to click on our box, and you can see we can't see it right now, or the plane. Neither one of those are visible, so we need to do a couple things before we do this. The first thing I'm going to do is click on Materials and then go to Background. Once I click on my background, I'm going to scroll down until I see Emissive. And I can drag that same material to my emissive. Click back on Sprites and click and drag that same material that's on it. And you'll start to see that it pops up and we can see a little bit better now. Coming and clicking on our plane, we can't see it right now. So I want to change the rotation on the X rotation on it to 90. And you can see now that we've switched to 90, we can go ahead and see that, but our box, we can't see yet. So we need to do the same thing. We need to click on Materials and then click on that box, go to Emissive on the box. And once we're there, go back under your Sprites and click and drag that same material. And now we can start to see that our box shows up. We're going to put a collider on this box. So we're going to come over to our hierarchy and click on Box. And over in your inspector, click Add Component and add in a collision. When you add in this collision, it's going to put that border around there for us. Once we have that border on, we're going to come over and you see this bright red warning sign over here, and you just need to click Import Ammo, and that's going to put a script into your asset folder that is all your physics and your collision and your rigid body. So your half extents are the size of your collider, and those are half the size of your scale. So for scales 1, our half extents are 0.5. At this point in the game, we are ready to start building our borders and creating our path. You want to click on the snap. When it's grayed out, you can see that it's not on. You want to click on that so that it stays white, and this means that your objects will snap to each other. We're going to come and right click on the box entity, and we're going to duplicate it. And because our snap is on, if we grab the X move tool, it should just snap right over to the side of it. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, and then I'm going to duplicate the box again. So right click on it and duplicate, and then we're going to move this over again. We're going to do this several times to start to create a border, but right now I want to click on the root and click on the plus and add an entity. And this will be just a blank entity. We're going to click on that so that we can rename it. We're going to call this border. This is going to contain all of our boxes that are our border. I'm going to come up and click on the first box at the top. And then I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to select the last box, which will select them all. Click and drag them to become a child of the border entity. And this will help us to keep this cleaner as we're working. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to keep duplicating to make my path. I can press Command D on a Mac or Control D on a PC to duplicate, and then I'm just using my arrows right now to move, but you can also grab that box to move your object with. And so I need to keep a little bit of that brown background as the path. So anywhere that I put an object, one of these boxes, that means that my player will not be able to go in that box space. So you can see the brown, I'm starting to create a little bit of a path, and as this works, you'll see that I will keep a brown area or tan area open as the path throughout this whole thing. So I want you to continue to build this, and we're going to make it fairly large. And once you have it done, your maze should look something like this. And in the last step, we're going to take that background and just make it bigger. I have my plane now, and I am going to go to my scale tool, and this will allow me to make this bigger. I can scale it just on the X, I can scale it just on the Y, and notice that it's doing the snap too, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to now just click in the middle to scale it in all directions, and I'm going to go just a tad bit bigger. So if I'm okay with my pattern, then we are all set to move on. I think I want to make the pattern a little bit better for that background material, so I would just do something like this and work on my offset or my tiling until I get it kind of where I want it more. And you can see I can start to get more of those shapes in there. That's what I was looking for. So you can continue to play with this until you get it exactly how you want it.